Alrighty, so we're just gonna get things started a little bit quickly. I don't know if Dense is gonna be around pretty soon, but hopefully does swing by soon enough. So I might as well just hop on in, say hello to Chucks and Latios while we're at it, and yeah, we can probably get the ball rolling from there. So, hope y'all are having a wonderful day, wonderful Wednesday afternoon, a wonderful week so far. Oh, I almost forgot, I need to get this out there too. Alright, that way. Alrighty. And as you can kind of tell from this tagline right here, I wish I was a bird. We're going to be talking about narrative. And if that isn't even more apparent, just give me a sec. Just in case if people are listening onto like SoundCloud, yeah, we are going to be talking about Gundam Narrative, but in an interesting way. We are kind of referring back to the experience that we had when we first watched it in theaters. So, we're just gonna give our accounts of what happened. It might be a little bit of a trip down memory lane, and hopefully we might even get to the point where we can really rip into narrative for what it was. Because boy, we have a lot to talk about in that regard. If I see Denso on right now, he should be hopping in the chat soon, unless if something came up. It's a good thing we have that 5-minute introduction. Oh, yep, there we go. I'll just mess around with a few things before we really kick off. Stargazer and Narrative competing for the worst Gundam media for me right now. What? Stargazer? How? Okay, now I'm curious. Why? Is it because it's just part of the Seed Destiny universe by proxy, or is it something else? Narrative, I can kind of understand that it's a little bit out there, especially what it does with the concept of new types along with Unicorn, but all in all, shoot, I just keep forgetting that's on the playlist too. But yeah, I'll hop in now. Hey, what's up?
Alright, looks like Blue has arrived.
Yes, I was just busy giving my introduction here, but we should be on the track for
volume levels for you.
Alrighty.
Sounds like you're a decent volume, but we're really quiet, which means if I turn the max volume up on the stream, you become really loud and we become barely audible.
Okay, so let me see if I can mess with the mixer. because I've always been trying to find that happy little medium, but every now and then it just messes something up, or it's just too loud for everybody else.
Yeah, because everybody's a different volume anyways. You're gonna have to. This will probably happen every time you have different guests on the show too.
Probably. I could also.
Audio is the worst part of like everything. It's so hard to manage.
It is.
Yeah.
Like I have all of you at like around 200 max volume on Discord, so yeah,
Talk a little bit. Fill the air with some noise.
yeah. Okay. Also, Stargaze was literally nothing for me. From Vroom Sword. I don't know what to say about that.
Or some other time.
Yeah, we can. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it per se. Also, thanks for the follow, Sunflower PB. Much appreciated.
Sunflower peanut butter? What?
I don't know what the PB is for, but
Peanut butter.
Wouldn't that just be sunflower butter? Sunflower peanut butter?
yeah, it would be in that regard. But sorry, P. You're all of a sudden peanut butter now.
I should probably get around to that.
You should.
You know what's funny? I was actually gonna suggest that you call this episode "I Wish I Was a Bird," and then you did it without even having me tell you.
Yeah, that's pretty much what narrative. It's too easy. Oh boy! We're gonna have so much fun with this, man. We're gonna just to kind of get everybody situated. I am starting to put these on SoundCloud. So, just in case if everybody is listening on SoundCloud, you're probably not going to get any of the visual stuff, unless if you look on my YouTube channel or on the Twitch channel as well. But all in all, we should be able to convey this message about being a bird pretty detailed, you know? I feel
we're gonna have a little too much fun with that.
Oh yeah. So, Jex,
Right.
since we were the ones that saw the preview of Anime NYC, let's just start with that preview first.
Right, so you.
I was there at that preview too. What you mean?
Oh yeah, Ladius. You were far away though.
Yeah, like Latios was in like some other section.
Yeah.
He got in before we did, but okay. So Anime NYC 2018, November 2018. We watched like what is it? The first 20 minutes of the movie, which is a pretty hefty chunk.
Mm-hmm.
So from that we just got really, the introduction of the movie. We get the protagonists, we get some idea of when it takes place, we get to see a bit of the animation. Not too much of the, battles or anything, and we get a bit of the music too, which is always going to be great. Hiroyuki Sawano, yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm hated.
we couldn't really get much of an impression from the 20 minutes alone. Like, I was talking about it with both of you afterwards, and I said, yeah, that seems like a Unicorn sequel. And, a Unicorn itself is already kind of polarizing, to say the least, because, like, it's... A lot of people really like it, and a lot of people think it's really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of in both camps. I really like Unicorn, but it is not... That it doesn't make any freaking sense.
I think I know what's gonna end up, because I mean, for the most part, like the preview was also available on the Gundam Info YouTube actually,
Yeah,
so that's
right,
why I first found out about it.
Mhm.
And thankfully, even though I arrived late to watch it in the theater, basically the stuff I missed was what was on YouTube, so that was good.
Yep.
But how about because I feel like once we start memeing and joking about the movie, we're just gonna it's just not gonna stop. So I think it might be best if we start off with what we did like about the movie before we get to the objectiveness, the constructive criticism, and then the full on memeries.
Oh,
Well, what I liked about the movie is that it had a focus on cyber new types, which is something that a lot of UC stories don't really like to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of cyber new type characters, but they never really went into like how they were experimented and like where they were used. Like we only really saw the aftermath. So the fact that they took the time to actually explain a little bit how that process went, I enjoyed that fact.
Right, and even like Benager is supposed to be a cyber new type, but it doesn't. You don't really get to see much of that. You're only seeing bits and pieces of his childhood. and
Right.
it's like it's so forgettable that you always forget that he's supposedly an actual Cyber Mutant. You're like, he's just like he's Benadryl, he's OP, right?
Yeah, he's just a next step to Jesus Yamato, pretty much.
Him and that fucking him. He's one step below Kira Yamato. But I have a question then.
Mm-hmm.
Before Kira becomes this OP god, who do you think's a bigger whiny bitch?
Hmm.
I would have to go with Camille.
I think Camille has reasons for it, though.
Yeah, Camille has
That's
reasons
just
for
me.
it.
Like Camille's justified.
I mean, I actually hated this shit of it. I thought Camille was obnoxious at first, but you're right. He did have his reasons. Because I mean, let's be like the guy's dad is a piece of shit, and then the way his mom dies is just fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Right. Like I see a lot of people hate on Camille as a bit of a tangent, but it's just like I like to hate him because like everything it makes sense. Like it makes sense like why he acts that way, why he's like that with women. Like if you like if they show you the process, it's like okay, I get it. I mean, I don't like you, but I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the music was pretty good. The music was on point when it needed to be, and Vigilante's a freaking banger.
Mm-hmm.
The animation quality was damn good too. Like I think with like a lot of the recent things, like with Thunderbolt, Unicorn was well animated. Even with the 3D stuff, even I prefer traditional, drawn stuff. I think it was good. They've gotten very good at it.
I've actually like looked up a few things before we started, just so I can like get my memory together. It was directed by the same person who did Thunderbolt, so that's why it looks that good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the animation quality was on point. No issues at all there. Like zero. The animation quality was solid. The way they did the character cuts, the character cut-ins, which is like one of my favorite things that they do in Mecha. That one was definitely, those were really good. Were really well placed. I know people tend to give a lot of anime quote unquote purists like to make a big stink about how it has to be in Japanese when it comes to voices. People tend to not like dubs, but I thought the English VAs did a perfectly fine job. One of the biggest problems that I have, which is what gives the people who whine about dubs justification, is I feel a lot of English VAs, they just dial it in. They do the bare minimum. They don't really get into the roles. Like you can tell when someone's into their role, and it helps. Like it helps more than you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like even though Master Asia's Japanese VA is great, the English VA was actually pretty funny, and it was enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even worse when you realize it's Mr. C.
Yeah, that has to do more of like the industry and things like that. Just the way like they handle dubs even now. Like a lot of them either they do the dub from their house or they phone it in. Like that's a lot more common than I would like. And in Japan they take that shit very seriously. Like, they don't fuck around with their voices.
Yeah,
the
seiyus in Japan.
It's to the point because in Japan a lot of the VAs, when they do a good role, it ends up being iconic. Mm-hmm. And then but I will say this. I think overall, Mecha has a pretty good track record with English VAs.
Yeah,
I think so. I think because I don't remember.
I would agree.
Like I don't remember having any complaints about the English dub for Evangelion. The English dub for Godanner was actually really damn good.
Code Geass very good.
Yeah, Code Geass was really good too. Like honestly, Mecha's actually pretty solid when it comes to that.
Maybe like the older motion stuff, like Get a Robot Armageddon, might be hit or miss, but everything else seems to be pretty spot on.
Zeta's dub is pretty bad.
The other thing,
it's really all of it this way.
The other thing I think was good was the designs. I thought the narrative Gundam didn't look half bad. It's a little weird. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but I think it looks fine. The Phoenix, it looks cool, but the only thing that kind of annoys me is that I'm not actually that big of a fan on the new type of thing. But we'll get to that. But for the most part, I do think the Phoenix, like, it does look cool. I do think it looks cool. None of them look over designed. I don't think none of the suits in narrative looked over designed.
Yep, I like the Sinatra Stein out of all the designs that were in the Sinatra Stein and the Silver Bull Suppressor. Oddly enough,
Yeah, if you like most of the designs from Unicorn, you'll probably like the stuff from Narrative for the most part. They're not really that different, which makes sense because the movie's only like a year after, so it wouldn't make any sense if it was that different.
It's also still Kotoki doing all the designs. I'm pretty sure.
mm-hmm.
I don't really. I mean, I'm gonna maybe I might get some people annoyed about this, but I'm not that big on the unicorn. I think it's boring.
No, I think that's fair. I think
Yeah,
that's
that's fair.
That's fair. A lot of people would feel the same way, honestly.
Like, I think the most interesting unicorn is the base mode white unicorn.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of
It's
base
like-
modes.
You
But
like
yeah,
that?
but
You
here's
got
the
all
thing, though.
weapons.
It's also polar.
Phoenix is just freaking gold. That's his gimmick. I don't like the
I
Phoenix.
mean, the thing about the unicorn that I do like is I do like when it goes into NTD how it has all the lines and things, and that's because while I don't like the plain look, I do like the red lines because of the fact that, and I kind of based that on the fact that I liked Jehuti's design from Zone of Enders.
Okay.
Mhm.
Specifically with how the lines that it has, those green lines, especially with how they trail from top to bottom, like that made it gave it a sense of power. So when it comes to Unicorn having its NTD mode, that's when it kind of makes it look okay. This dude looks strong as hell. That I can dig, but the base form is.
I think for marketing purposes, that's what Bandai probably wanted. Like they wanted the unicorn to just kind of be plain. Like it's their suit. It's their 78 for this kind of generation. So
Pretty
they
much.
wanted something that's like marketable, easy to look at, like looks nice, and it has that form. It's like wow, it turns into unicorn. Like that one in Tokyo. Like I think it works for them. So that's probably what they wanted.
Can't front that big ass unicorn is pretty fucking cool though.
Yeah, well, that's probably one of the very first things I'll go to when I actually visit Japan.
If we're ever allowed there again.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
All I'm gonna say about that, if you ever do go to Japan, bring money.
Oh
And
yeah.
whatever amount of money you're gonna bring more.
Mhm.
Because I'm serious.
I know you are.
I was over there when I was stationed there. It was way too easy to burn money, and since we're freaking nerds, it's gonna be even harder for you to resist the urge to spend money.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you're a big ass American. So big ass Americans are gonna want to eat big ass meals, and their portions are noticeably smaller. So bring money.
I mean, everyone here's met me in real life. You know, I'm not a big ass American, so I think I'm good.
Yeah,
What are
skinny.
you talking about? What are you talking about? You're a hidden fat ass.
How am I?
You're so fat ass. Motherfucker probably eats more than we all of us put
No,
together.
I actually don't. I definitely don't. But
Nah. I'm just-
Were there any characters in Narrative like stood out to any of you guys?
oh, I don't even
Zoltan.
remember his freaking name. The villain.
Zoltan, Zoltan.
I mean,
Pilot of the side, he was the only one.
the antagonist. I think the antagonist was the best character, and that's because of the fact that
He was batshit insane.
His name is Zoltan, by the way.
Yeah.
Zoltan. Yeah, there we go.
Zoltan. I think the VA put the most effort into his voice acting, but not only that, but I think he was justified to be as pissed off as he was, because I mean, these guys put up to a lot of shit as kids, so I think he was perfectly justified to be as pissed off as he was. But I think I do think he stood out. He stood out the most. The lead male, the male protagonist, I think he was kind of weak actually.
He wasn't much of a character.
Yeah, Yona wasn't. Yeah, Yona just seemed like a blank slate when you really compared to everybody else, everybody from like the new type facility and the people that were around him.
Honestly, I think he might have worked better as a silent protagonist, because most of what he was doing was chasing, Bird Girl. That was literally what he was doing for the majority of the show. He was chasing her.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would have made. I think it would have made perfect sense if he actually just, because of trauma, that he just straight up doesn't speak, and that most of his talking, or rather most of what he's thinking, is, his past memories as a kid, and that and if there is a chance that he could save her, that okay, cool, that's what he wants to do. I think that would have worked honestly. Because when you think about it, when some people have trauma, they can't speak. They don't speak. So that would have been perfectly feasible.
Right.
And even then, that would have been. And even then, here's the other one. that would have given it an because if I'm not mistaken, these new types and cyber new types, they're able to have their whole little new type communication slash talkie kind of thing, right?
Yeah, the telepathy.
Yep.
So this movie, in my opinion, kind of stepped it up on the new type nonsense, on the hashtag new type nonsense. So that would have been even more. That would have made it better. That would have alleviated the obnoxiousness of the new type stuff by making him a silent protagonist and just communicating via that new type stuff.
Well, we can talk about like things we'd want to fix with the movie later, but like we can like
yeah,
let's try to think of like what the movie's about first. That is a very good idea though. I didn't think about that. It would actually work really well.
So
I mean, I think the other thing that was good, the action pieces were good, and that's again a credit to the animation. Like seriously, the animation was.
I thought the last fight was pretty hype. Yeah, when he with the core fighter was hype. I got hype with the core fighter. I'm always hype for core fighter. I like core fighter.
Yeah, that was pretty hype actually. That was really hype.
Mm-hmm.
I like suits that have different like backpacks and stuff. So like seeing narrative go through all that stuff just to capture the Phoenix. I thought those scenes were cool. I like suits with backpacks.
Yeah.
I think the B pack looks really dumb though.
That's the one with the two big funnels on the funnel income things, right?
Yeah.
That's the one thing. That's the one complaint I have about certain suits with backpacks, because some of them just look weird. Like that one, that looked about as goofy as Dreadnought, which is an M-Bond. I think that's from Seed, right?
Yeah, Seed Astray.
Dreadnought's backpack looks so stupid. It literally looks like you know what it is? It looks like a weirdly shaped bootleg flotation device. That's what it looks like to me.
And Providence and Legend of Sundials, pretty much.
I mean, you know what though? At least for Providence, it works. You can make sense out of it because it holds all those funnels. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird in that this is a villain suit, but it works kind of weird. But that's fine. I don't think the suit. I think it's easier to have a weird or goofy looking suit, or potentially goofy looking suit. It works better on a villain than it works on a protag.
You think of candy corn when you see Dreadnought coffee?
I think of candy corn.
I'm going to
those giant dragoons.
I'm going to go ahead and admit that I have a double standard when it comes to that, because like I think the narrative B pack looks stupid, but I like the Victory Dash Gundam, so fucking sue me.
Oh yeah. It seemed like a prototype.
I think it works. I think it works also because of the color scheme, or not only that, but it looks like it's part of the suit. When you look at the funnel incoms on the narrative Gundam, it's clearly tacked on. You know, when you make a suit that's supposed to be modular, you have to make it look like it fits, like it's part of it. That's why I will give credit where it's due to Gundam Seed. It worked with the Strike Gundam. It didn't work with the Perfect Strike, because there was too much stuff going on. But the Strike Gundam is perfect. Like the Ale Striker pack, perfectly fine. Looks sleek. Should have been in a matching color, but it works. You look at the Sword Strike. It's just a sword and a little thing on the shoulder. They kept it simple because they knew that it'd make it difficult. And then you have the one for the launcher pack, right? It's a thing on the side, and it's color coded, and it works with the Agni. It fits. It's nice and simple. You know, I think when they have to keep it that way. If they're gonna do something like that, they gotta make sure that it looks like it fits, not just this is a Gundam with an interchangeable backpack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it can't be tacked on.
Yep, same with the Impulse too.
I mean, honestly, I like Strike more than Impulse.
I do think the Strike looks nicer than the Impulse, because in some regards the Impulse looks a little too thin for my taste.
Yeah.
I don't think the Impulse is a bad design either.
No.
Alright, so going back to the narrative, I think it's funny that the C-Pack they're selling this spoiler in plastic form before the movie even comes out.
Yeah, the woman
was really obvious, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it made it too
I
obvious.
think we knew something like that would happen anyway, but it's just like they went right out like, yo, this thing has like psychoframe like the unicorn, check it out.
I love my Gunpla, but at the same time, it's just like, guys, can you guys at least like wait until the movie's out? Come on, bro.
I mean, with
like,
what they did,
you boss out the movie, and then at the end of the movie, hey guys, get some Gunpla. Like, hey, get some Gunpla, and there you go. You know?
I think it's because they thought all their sales would come from the A pack because it has the most stuff on it.
Yeah, that might be it too. Yeah, I think they
That
were
makes
just
sense.
banking on the APAC being the big seller. But once they started noticing that it wasn't really the case, they started moving on to the CPAC being like the ultimatum. And the dumbest move was making the BPAC P Bandai.
Well, I mean, we kind of said the B pack is probably the least popular one, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that makes the most more sense. As a Western fan who follows Gunpla, I don't really collect it or build it too often, but we all like complaining about P Bandai, but at the end of the day, from a business standpoint, their decisions do make some sense.
Mm-hmm.
No, it does. It does. It
They,
does.
It
they,
does.
they, they collect all that data. They know what sells and what doesn't. So
Now,
It makes sense. Still gotta criticize it, but it makes sense.
Blue Shift and I will never stop being mad about the Wound Ward, but
Oh, I already got my Wound Wart, but I just got it from a third party.
why did you have to do that exactly?
Yeah, I got it from Amazon. And it's just sitting on my
this
it's
is going to be
sitting
interesting,
somewhere.
bro. What do you think about the story of narrative?
So,
I
okay.
think the story. I think it's just like you guys mentioned. It goes into a little more detail about the about cyber new types. And as far as what the ending goes, it's actually kind of nice that you find out that Boninger is okay. I think
Spoilers.
I think that was great.
Like, to me, it just felt like a Unicorn 1.5. Like, the fact that all these characters got brought back at the end is like, okay, we just had a little break from Unicorn, and now we're all back. And Unicorn had that decisive ending, and then you watch narrative. It's like, okay, that ending not matter, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you watch narrative and you're like, that whole thing didn't matter either. And I think that was my biggest issue with it. Like, I was gonna say that, we only watched this movie a year and a half ago. We watched the theater showing in February 2019, and I was gonna say I kind of don't remember anything about this movie. I don't think I watched this. I think I sat in the theater and looked at the screen while it was playing. Right?
It's just because picture
still remember
show.
a decent amount of it, but it's just like, yeah, none of this, like, it's like at the end of the day, none of this movie doesn't matter in the actual canon. It's just like, who cares?
When I thought I remembered certain the important plot points. I'm like, that's stupid. That's also stupid. Why did this happen? And then at the end of all of it, I'm like, that didn't need to happen.
Yeah, none of this needed to happen.
All right, so here's my thing. When it comes to this movie, I'm going to give it the hardest criticism I can give it. Besides the title of this episode, the harshest criticism I can give it is the same criticism I will say about Char's counterattack, and that is Gundam Narrative. Just like Char's counterattack should not have been a one-shot movie, just like F91 shouldn't have been a movie, it should have been a multi-episode OVA. Because then it would have been easier to make things matter, and it would have given us more time to explain things, and it would have probably also given us more time to have things actually explained. Besides, I want to be a bird.
Okay, so my issue with that is I do agree that would have been better for pacing overall. I don't think that would have fixed the problems with the overarching story.
Yeah, I was gonna go with that. Yeah.
We go back to the beginning. There's you have these 3 children that predicted the Operation British. Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, that was pretty stupid. That was dumb as hell. That was dumb as hell.
So here's the thing. Wait. Yeah, let's just save that for further down the line, because there's gonna be a lot of things.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that point. Okay. I guess the one thing that I really did like were the certain subplots that were going on in regards to what was going on in narrative. Basically, what was happening with the Anaheim, what was happening with Titans, which was an organization we haven't heard in a long time since the Universal Century kind of moved on at that point. But
Anaheim Electronics are the true villains of Gundam.
Oh yeah, they're war profiteers.
War is profitable. They don't give a fuck. we knew this already. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they're practically Belkans. Ave Belka. They pretty much have a hand in a lot of things in order to influence the war direction and just create as many high-tech tools as possible to further the war. That's why Char probably went to them to create some form of a baseline design of the cycle frame, and everything could always be brought back to Char.
Yeah, it's always Char's fault.
It's always Char's fault because now we have to deal with this new type of nonsense again.
Yeah, you guys commented on Zoltan on as a character. I would have liked him better if he wasn't quite literally a Char clone. Like if he was just a cyber new type, like, and they did experiments on him, it would have fit with the rest of the movie. But then they dropped like, oh, he's a failed Char clone. I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
Because
Not
they
again.
needed to link him to
Yeah.
like, oh, he's part of the frontal project.
Yeah, he should've
For
been.
fuck's
sake. We have full frontal because he's the finished product, and Zoltan is like on the path to failure. And I'm like, oh,
Full frontal and Zoltan is actually half frontal.
he's not even half frontal. He's like quarter frontal because he's like that bad. Remember that one time when he's shooting everything and he can't hit anything? He's like, yo, this rifle doesn't work. It won't hit anything. And they put that in
Nope.
X versus 2.
Oh yeah, that.
Maybe you just suck, bro.
Of course.
Zoltan channels the spirit of all EX versus scrubs. I can't hit anything. The fuck?
It's the game.
Why don't you stand still?
Laughs in turn X.
Oh wait. Checks. Do you still have that one link that I sent you? The one that was talking about Fukui. That interview.
I have to look for it.
Yeah, that's gonna be important.
More model kits.
Alright, so before we go into that, we're gonna like, I was joking before the movie came out, like when around the time they announced it, right? I was joking, it's like, oh, the narrative Gundam is a time machine, and they're gonna erase cross.
No. Oh, no.
Wait, say that again?
Oh my god.
Oh, okay, so they announced Unicorn. They announced Narrative like a few years before it came out, right? So when we did the Gundam versus tournament at iFix, before that, like right before that, because Cloud brought it up again when he was there. It was like we were joking, and I made the joke that the Narrative is a time machine. The Narrative Gundam is a time machine. They're gonna like alter the timeline so that Unicorn matters more. So that way they can OS that, oh, everybody's saying Unicorn doesn't matter, Narrative doesn't matter because we already have F91 and Crossbone and everything that comes after. And I'm like, they're gonna erase everything so that Unicorn is the true timeline and they don't have to animate Crossbone anymore. That was the joke. I
remember that joke too.
Also, speaking of which, happy birthday, Cloud.
Yo, Brandon Nanko laughed at that. It's like, yeah, fuck you. You're never getting a Crossbone anime now.
Yep. Just hit us with the Ideon.
That's what you guess. You know what it is? I bet the guys who made M-Bond, that's why they made Tobias' sister so nasty. Tobias Revenge.
I mean, you can see it with Hathaway's Flash. Like, we don't. When that movie comes out, we don't even know if it'll have the same ending or how the story's gonna go. Like, if you've read the story or know about it, you know how it ends. But it could be different, and they have the justification to do so because of NT. Like, they can just like now they open Pandora's box, do whatever the fuck they want now.
Yep.
Because like it already is different because the novel Hathaway's Flash is based on Belter Chica's children, not the movie. But the way they're going, they're gonna have to base it off Char's Counterattack, the movie, where, I'm assuming everybody here has watched it, so where he's the one who killed Quest.
Yeah.
Or no, Chan's the one who killed Quest, not him. Because Hathaway's Flash he's the one who killed it. I got it mixed up.
Base Chan.
Actually, can I find this link? Why can't I find this link?
Okay. Now, I think we've kind of... So I'm assuming it's safe to say that now we're going to get to the criticism / negatives / memes.
We've been there the whole time.
It's really hard.
We're kind of feeling to go into that. Sure it is.
It's like all the things about the movie we all kind of agree with. Like, yeah, the animation's great. Yeah, the music is like, if you like the certain artists or whatnot, and the direction was fine, but like the actual important stuff, like the characters and the story, it's just like,
Found it.
Oh, there we go. Also, Hathaway is gonna bring everyone together by being the most hated Gundam protag.
Blue, do you mind DMing me that?
Sure, just give me a sec. And I'm gonna put it up on stream too.
Thank you, Connor.
Not a problem. Alright. So, I know we're all looking our chops here, and we're gonna get ready for the buffet of carnage. So, where do we
boy.
start from here?
All right. So, like I said before, I think the main character, the main male protagonist, he should have been a silent protagonist with new type nonsense interactions being his key form of communication. I understand that that would have made it difficult to have him interact with other characters, but you know,
Like, well,
I
like
mean,
we
it
know
kind
that already. He's barely a character, so honestly, that wouldn't even be that difficult to be honest.
no, honestly, honestly, I should think, and I should mention, no, it won't be a big deal because when you remember the first battle in the anime, in the movie, I mean, you see him basically afterburnering to go intercept the narrative while the other pilots on their other suits are getting instructed to, hey, get away from what's going on, clear the field of battle while this guy's going in, and etc. So no, you're right. Yeah, yeah. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stick with it. Then they should have kept it. I think it would have been better that way as a silent protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
But the other issue and like I said before, I think it would have been at least a little bit better as an OVA. And what's my other real complaint? Honestly, those are my two complaints. That and of course, no, excuse me. Of course, the I want to be a bird thing, and
Yep.
then this is the other fault I have. The new type nonsense moment was stupid. The one from Shar's counterattack was good. If you don't pay attention, you may not understand it. But correct me if I'm wrong. The new type nonsense moment in Shar's counterattack is when Amuro tries to push back Axis on his own.
Mm-hmm.
The psycho frame goes nuts. The psycho frame kicks in, and everybody, even the Xeon guys, are compelled to go help him push it back. So that was the new type nonsense moment. Feasible. What happened in narrative? I don't even remember what the hell happened. He got on the Phoenix. He found the girl who she apparently did get to become a bird apparently, and then something happened. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Stuff happened.
if I remember correctly, they were going up against the Sinanchu Stein's Neo Zeon, and I think it was just like a simple hand wave that released a psycho wave to disable and practically dismember the entire Neo Zeon bit by bit.
They brought back the Neo Zeon. We forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah.
We were gonna mention it at some point, but like the new type stuff, basically amounted to the one Rita has been dead all along in the Phoenix, but because of the new type nonsense, her soul became one with the Phoenix, and because they were able to communicate with the dead, like they were able to communicate with her, and then Jonah was able to get into the cockpit, and they were able to all right, like me trying to explain it.
Okay, hold on. That was cool. Okay, but quick thing about that before anything else. I do think that was cool. I do think that was interesting that she was actually dead all along. I figured that she was dead. She had to be.
She had to be.
All the flashbacks basically made it.
It might have been interesting, but I feel like they're pushing this new type stuff a little too much. And I'm not even the one to complain about the new type nonsense. I think it's fine, but like I think this is pushing it a lot.
I think they did go a little too far with this one. I think they did go too far with the new type nonsense in this one.
Like them communicating with the dead. I'm like, okay, this is fine. Like I can appreciate that. Her soul fusing with the Phoenix. Oh, okay. This is kind of like I can't accept that.
I mean, I can push it. I can push it. My suspension of disbelief because law psycho frame. But then there's a thing that Vroom is mentioning. Zoltan blew up some gas around the colony, but for some reason the colony has enough gas for an explosion to reach Earth. It's like, what?
Oh, that!
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
That was dumb.
Like, I can understand if it was like enough gas in order to blow up the colony for the debris to hit Earth, but for the explosions to actually reach Earth, no, that shouldn't work. Unless if it's like close to the stratosphere,
Guys,
but even then,
just make up a colony. Just make up a colony. And go for the colony drop. We're good.
Yeah, just drop Texas Colony 2.0 and that's it.
No, just drop into the colony. We're good. We got enough colonies.
My sides.
That was corny as fuck. Smack yourself.
Even when,
Hard time.
even when you try to sum up the movie, like plot wise, it wasn't even that long. Like there wasn't really that much happening.
No.
Yeah, it
Like
was,
when you
wasn't not a
when you
full
look
2
at it.
hours, right? It wasn't a
Yes,
full 2
it's, yes, it's like that, room. It's action shock, but with even less reward. That's the problem. The new type nonsense moment basically turned into one guy stopping the entire thing, and I don't feel that that new type nonsense moment is anywhere near as impactful as what Amuro did. You know,
Well,
and
if you had watched the Gundam series in order, then like you've had all this buildup of Amuro and Char going through all this stuff, and like then the payoff is Char's counterattack. Like here, there's no payoff. Even after you watch Unicorn, these are brand new characters. Like there's like we don't know them long enough to get that payoff.
Yep.
yeah.
And wait, I forgot.
Mm.
In Unicorn, is Riddy still alive?
Who's still alive?
Riddy.
Really.
I have to check.
Because if like anyone intrinsically related to Unicorn in the previous events, even though it was like a year before the events of NT, if there was like some sort of connection or some kind of like, I don't know how to put it. It's just if there was like some sort of intrinsic link. Oh, he is. Oh, okay. The Band Destiné, right?
He didn't really do much, so it's made no sense for him to die.
No, but at least you would expect him to have some form of like recollection or retribution, kind of like a revelation. Shit, I'm not even speaking straight at this point anymore. But if there was like some sort of intrinsic link between Unicorn and NT, just by like a character being there besides Banisher and one other person, which we'll get to
There was
after
actually
some
2
point.
other people. Except one of them didn't freaking matter, so...
Yeah. But yeah, let's move on.
I mean, yeah, man. Like I said, this is where it comes down to. I think, honestly, as a whole, Gundam should stick with OVAs instead of one-shot movies.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I mean, how long was this movie again?
Like
It was like an hour and a half, maybe a little less.
Yeah. It's not enough time. I think 2 hours, 2 and change, pushing 3 hours is what you need for a movie. Otherwise, dude, just make an OVA.
Yeah, I think a lot of the flashbacks.
Because the thing is, like, I think it's really hard to make a good movie as a one shot. I mean, you look at Macross Plus. Macross Plus had a 4 OVA version, and then they had a one-shot movie version. That kind of worked out because things were established pretty quickly. But the thing is, everything that it did in that movie, was simple. The new type nonsense in this is sort of kind of complicated. You know, you can't and you can't just bullshit it like that. It's not gonna work.
No, it's something that has like an established mythos that started all the way from probably even before 0079. The concept of new types that came around, if we're going with like the origin, that has like some precedence because before it was just like a concept where people were starting to become more cognizant of the extraordinary abilities after being exposed to space for a long period of time. And then as time goes on and the war kicks on in its fullest form, you start seeing these things come to light, but people are still a bit skeptical about it. And more as we go further down the line of the Universal Century, people are starting to become believers.
Also, with where like the past and the movie took place when they were experimenting with cyber new types, that was in the age of Zeta, so they could have had some easy Zeta references. Maybe show 4, maybe show the other experimentee she was with. Like they could have. There are so many opportunities to expand like the cyber new type idea, not only in narrative but also in Zeta. and like they just didn't take that chance.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
But you know what though? But I don't. But here's the thing though. I don't think was it really them taking a chance. I think if they did that, because I mean, from what I understand, a lot of people seem to tell me that when it comes to the Universal Century, a lot of people, I get the feeling that Zeta is the best of the UC stories.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people really like Zeta.
Yes.
I don't think if they would have used references to for the Purus, etc. I don't think that would have been bad. If anything, that would have added, you know, that would have made them. I think it would have made it better.
Yeah, Four and Rosamia in particular. The development of the new type driven machines, especially with stuff coming from Jupiter. There would have been a lot of different dynamics that would have, if anything, the subplot for the Titans should have been longer. That way, it would have been a little bit more profound within in NT.
Yeah, they also could have given more context into the full frontal project. As much as as dumb as I think that is,
Mm-hmm.
like they could have just went back and just gave us more info on that as well. Because that is still a Cyber New type project. So again, see how Xeon handled it, and then see how the Earth Federation handled it, and just see like the two sides of that. Like this, like again, like I love the Cyber New types as a concept, but they just do nothing with it, and that that frustrates me.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about it too. If Neo Zeon wanted another Char, why didn't the Titans, while they were still around, want another Shiroko? I mean, he was like the apex. He was the apex new type. If you were looking at it before he got watermelon in the end.
He's weak to watermelon. Oh God. I think it would have been interesting because if anything, it also would have been another way to emphasize that the Federation and Xeon they're both dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would have helped with that. Maybe get a cycle film to make something like that. I think.
Right, that's something that Thunderbolt does really well, and that's easily something Narrative could have done with just the experiment of Cyber New types. It's like both factions were complicit in it. They just never fully explained it in any of the older UC series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Thunderbolt did a pretty good job with that. Was showing people are pretty dirty because, like EO for example, he is definitely not the protagonist.
Oh, he's a protagonist, but he's not a hero.
Yeah, he's not a hero, but he's a protagonist for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel he had his moments. Like, for example, during the last mission in December Sky, when he mentions that he's not going to be participating in combat, he does genuinely, or at least I feel the English VA expressed it well, that he's not happy about the fact that he has to send fucking little young kids basically to go out there and die. Mm-hmm. And when he said, if you survive, drinks are on me, I thought that he was actually being legitimate, and he was like, and the thing is, he does seem to have a sort of kind of caring side, like when his girl is there, and he was basically slapping the piss out of her because she's fucking using whatever the hell that was, and then, but at the same time, then you also see his more nut job side when he correctly calls out Daryl, and also when it was his ego that was driving him to get his girl, or at least to confirm that she's not brainwashed or whatever. Because he just wanted her to say his name, and I'm like, bro, like really, you selfish prick. But I think the movie could have done a little better because you didn't really see much about on the Xeon side. Zoltan, you only assume that he's been treated like dirt based on what happened to the other cyber new types on the Federation side, but also because he's borderline psychotic at that point. When you meet him, he's already.
That's the issue with the movie being so damn short. Like, you basically saw Zoltan like a little bit. They talked about him a little bit, but then the majority of the movie is them just talking about capturing the Phoenix, capturing Phoenix, capturing Phoenix, and it's just like, all right, we get it. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they put a little too much focus on one thing, and that just made the other parts kind of fall in the cracks.
Yeah, they put all their eggs in one basket, pretty much.
They only,
no,
they only
no.
really wanted to capture Phoenix for like power reasons, like, and like it wasn't an interesting reason why they wanted to capture it either.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that the Phoenix has been around longer than NT itself. It's been around in that one special that's only available at the Gundam Base Tokyo, the one of 72. So if we had any visual of that, seeing that in action, maybe it would have given us a little bit more context as to why it is so important to catch. Because Full Frontal went after with the Rebel Wu.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of missing a piece there. But even then, if we did have that piece, it's still not going to solve anything else and that was presented in narrative.
Aww.
What do you think about like their future projects, and like do you feel confident in them after narrative, or it's just like narrative kind of soiled everything for you guys?
I don't think it's what it. I think it's just the fact that I think if anything, this just solidifies my opinion that they should just do OVAs. I think if they do OVAs, they'll be able to tell better, more complete stories. I think narrative, for all its faults, would have been superior, even just a little bit. I think it's fine. I think it's okay. The movie's okay. I'm not gonna go and say this is the worst movie ever. I'm not gonna say, I'm not a fan of saying, oh, this is a series. What's the worst of the series? I don't really like that thought process. I just feel that when you look at Char's Counterattack was fine. Would have been better if it was an OVA. F91 was intended to be a series. Was shortened into a movie. And then you have narrative. This is the third time that you've seen a one-shot movie clearly state this would be better as an OVA. You look at Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is, how many episodes was it?
It was like eight. It was like 8 or 12. I forgot. It was like 8 or 12 episodes, and then they shortened it into the movie like they always do. But it had time to develop, basically.
And exactly, it worked.
Yeah,
so
it worked very well.
So I'm hoping that Hathaway's Flash is it supposed to be just one movie, or is it in several parts?
I think it's several parts.
3 movies. It's gonna be a trilogy.
So that right there tells me it's going to be better than narrative. So I don't think I'm excuse me, I'm not concerned. But I do, if I were to be able to talk to, like, I'm hoping, honestly, the next time we're able to go to an anime convention and they have a Gundam panel and they talk about movies, I'm gonna do everything I can to get picked so that I can give them that comment. Please don't make any more one-shot movies. Stick to OVAs. And if they do decide to stick to OVAs, I honestly would not mind narrative being revisited, because then we would get more context, and then they would actually get what they were trying to aim at what you mentioned before, which is keeping Unicorn relevant and things like that. I think if they do that, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the funny thing too, because Unicorn in itself was like 7 episodes, 7 whole 1-hour episodes.
Yeah, they came out year after year. Like I was always anticipating each episode coming out. I was like, damn, this is taking so long, but it's worth it. Or I thought it was back then.
And then episode 7 happened. Narrative is just a Blue Destiny fanfic. I wish we got Blue Destiny. I wish.
They have so many sub stories and like little manga that like are not animated. Like they can do it for years. Like, but you know, whatever. Crossbone is still a meme. Whatever, we get it.
Let's hear some positivity. Well, this might or might not be the right stream for that. Because
we covered the positivity first, actually.
Yeah.
Now
we're just in the wolf hunt.
I think we're at the point where we got to cover the meme now. I wish I was a bird. How many times did they say that, for fuck's sake?
It was supposed to be a really impactful line, and it did get to me the first part, but then they started repeating it over and over. I'm like, is it like I just don't get it. What are they trying to say? What am I missing here?
Oh, I hope.
I get it, because the Phoenix is supposed to sound like Phoenix, so it's clearly a bird. Mm-hmm. But it's like, come on, man. I mean, she said that so many times that we literally we basically memed it. Like, damn it, man. I think that really hurt her significance. And I think it hurt the significance of what was happening. Because clearly she wanted to keep things, have a simpler life, which is perfectly understandable. But it's like, bruh, how many times did you say that? And then the other thing that was meme-tastic was how the little cute little pendant. Oh, look, it came together. Corny.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame because I liked her character again because of like the cyber new type stuff that I keep going over, and I just wish they just expanded on it more. But you could tell she went through a ridiculous amount of terrible experiments, and they showed some of it. I didn't think they would.
Yeah.
Like, and when they were like they were like literally cutting her head open. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, this is
yeah, that part was fucked.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's why they didn't do it as a multiple OVA episode, because that means they might have had an episode where it's just like abuse porn.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they needed to show all of that, but I just wanted them to show more of like the cyber new type labs, what was life was like in the labs, who were the scientists behind it and stuff like that. I'm not really a fan of that kind of like torture porn either, but one scene of it was enough. I didn't really need more of that, but they could have shown more of like what actually happened during that era.
No, that's fair.
If you're gonna repeat a line, all movie better be as cool as I Am a Gundam. At least with Cessna, there's a reason why he always says it. And every time it happens, someone gets murked in the process.
Shut up, Setsuna. The best line in Double O Gundam wasn't "I'm a Gundam." It's freaking Patrick Kalalsar being a dumbass.
Patrick Kolesar, the luckiest man alive, the one who managed to cheat death and managed to also have, he cheated death so much he managed to gain immortality and have cameos in Build Divers. That's how powerful he was. Not even GM particles could stop him.
I say shut up, Setsuna.
Denso. That's Denso.
I clearly hate Setsuna and Mbon. and even that's see, there you go. That's immortal touch. Exactly.
And just to kind of give context as to why Sunfar PB is a little peeved about that, she is a big Setsuna fan.
I mean, I hate Setsuna. I have a love-hate relationship with Setsuna. But like, I think Setsuna's cool because he believes in what he's doing with his Gundam. I think that's cool. But I do think the I Am Gundam line is kind of corny. But then at the same time, I mean, I'm saying that as a Kwanzaa player, but I also hate Setsuna in Mbon. I still hate Setsuna in Mbon. I hate him, but I still run Kwanzaa.
Since when you've been playing Kwanzaa?
I think it's great because he's, you know how a lot of people nowadays be talking about the diversity. You have a guy who's clearly of South Asian descent, but the way he looks, so he's a diverse pick, and nobody complains about him.
He's Middle Eastern.
Excuse me, my bad, Middle Eastern. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's like he's a diverse. He helps for diversity without feeling freaking shoved in. I hate Setsuna as in Mbon. My hatred for Setsuna is entirely because of Mbon. As far as a character in Gundam 00, I think he's great. I do think the I'm a Gundam line is dumb as hell and corny, but overall, nah, I like him. Setsuna's cool. He just has too many goddamn suits in freaking Mbon.
6 suits.
I think one of the things that I've actually liked about Narrative, this is outside the movie itself. It's just that it shows that Bandai is taking Gundam a little more seriously in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that they released the movie, we have the Gundam Info website. They recently had that online Gundam Expo with like exclusive interviews. Like they're really like trying to take Gundam a lot more seriously now than ever before. And Narrative was definitely one of those parts.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction.
I will definitely say that's a positive, even if the movie may be a little polarizing and we meme on it. I'm still happy that we got the movie out here because it's I was able to watch it in theaters and I thought that was actually pretty cool. So I do hope I'm looking forward to Hathaway's Flash for that and all that. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully they release Hathaways in a timely manner. I'm really excited.
Yeah, they do rotate stuff pretty fast on on Gundam Info, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna complain about content that we don't have to pay for. And not only that, but here's the thing: that is
All right.
motivation for people to buy the products, be it the Gunpla, be it the DVDs, because even though people pirate it, even though people watch things for free, there's plenty of people out there who have pirated a series and then they turned around and bought it to support it. So I think it's perfectly fine
That's
that
that's the general strategy now that a lot of, was a bit of a tangent, that a lot of companies are going for now. It's just like just give the product out for free or release it on YouTube for free. Like I'm watching right now for the first time ever because of licensing issues. They're releasing the latest Ultraman on YouTube completely free and completely subbed from straight from Japan. And it's like this is fucking awesome, and I couldn't have imagined in a billion years. But they understand it's just like, you know what, just get the show out there to people, and we'll make the money somewhere else.
Yep. Because you're gonna have
people like here's the thing, like I'm not even that big of a fan of Ultraman, but I have a good friend of mine. He's a big fan of Ultraman. Like he's a super huge fan of Ultraman. And when I went to one of the anime conventions, I actually got to meet the guy who dressed up as the original Ultraman, Bin Furia. Wow. So I had to take a picture with him because at the end of the day, it's fucking iconic, and I did it for myself, but also because, you know what, this is an excuse to send my friend some merch. So I got to meet the guy, I got to shake his hand, you know. I gave him, of course, it was through a translator, but I gave him his props. And I do have a thing of his signature, but everything other than that one thing that I kept for myself, everything else I had to send it to my friend. He was so happy to get that. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing a big push from just companies that are just like pushing stuff out to the U.S. and like understanding. It's just like, you know, people want this content. You just have to get them out to people, and then we'll make the money elsewhere. So you can definitely see Gundam follow that model. Like we have our own premium Bandai site now, and they're releasing a ton of stuff there. Holy crap!
Oh yeah.
And quick thing, fuck you, Gigic.
Jesus.
Hold that fucking L.
Yeah, Mecha's dying though, right?
No, Mecha's dying, and then you see what you got the whole P band. I think even if it has its faults, we got Gundam Info giving us free freaking content. We got Gunpla as strong as ever, and even though this is off topic, fucking PewDiePie built a fucking Avalanche Exia
On stream,
and even had it paint, and even on stream painted it.
Yeah, he painted it red. I was like, that's impressive.
He painted it red. It looked good. And then he also mentioned the same thing that a lot of us be saying. I know I like saying it, that Mecha brings us all together. Fucking PewDiePie understands. Eat a dick, Giga. Hold that fucking L. You're gonna be holding that L for the fucking rest of your life, you fucking bitch.
Let's go. We're bringing the heat tonight. Oh man, and oh boy. Oh man.
I mean, motherfucker.
It's
doesn't even know how
passion.
to gotcha properly.
It's
I made a
passion.
video talking about I spent 400,000 or whatever money on a gotcha game, and I'm like, boy, you ever heard of a fucking rate up? Motherfucker doesn't know how. Motherfucker doesn't understand rate ups. Of course, he ain't gonna understand Gundam. Fuck out of here.
Trash Taste Podcast, though.
Trash taste makes fitting name.
Yep.
Fuck boy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have Necro or someone else. Since Necro 13, he usually talks about a lot of anti-tubers, especially ones that tend to talk a lot more than they know. Pretty cool dude too. In fact, I was actually on his show for like that Professor Otaku video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that video that you. Speaking of, that's the one that you sent me, right?
Yeah.
No, I did watch it. I will agree with what the guy was saying. I mean, I for the most part, Professor Talk was mostly positive about Mecha and Gundam in particular, and he does have a video where he's talking about like a timeline. But I think the guy was 100% right on his criticisms about him.
Yep, Archibald's definitely he's the most analytical when it comes to stuff like that. He's also doing like a series called Death and Rebirth of Mecha, where it's just actually finding a way in order to make Mecha come to reality with the basic realistic principles. It's a pretty interesting series. So I could probably link that as well.
Let me think. So, quick question. I think, is there anything else you guys wanted to say about narrative? Because it sounds like right now we're kind of going into a bit of a free topic now.
Oh yeah. Oh right.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything about narrative, honestly.
Oh wait.
The story is extremely simplistic, so it doesn't really we can't like pick it apart or digest it. It's just that's it. Like that's all she wrote. And then everything we liked about it was pretty on the surface. Like, yeah, the animation's good, yeah, the music's good, mech design is whether you like Unicorn or not. Like, you know, everything's pretty straightforward.
Yep. Right. I have the thing that Chex linked to me in the chat. You still there, Chex?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, we're gonna read that thing you sent me on stream.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
You
better read it out loud because I can't see it right now.
Okay. All right. So this is from BJ Bootchamp. Correcting more of the idiocy from the wiki.
The Xeonic scans. By the way, he's the guy who translates all the, not all of them, but when he can, he translates a lot of Gundam manga.
I definitely know his name for sure. Yeah.
He did the entirety of the first Crossbone and I think Skullheart. He did the beginning of CL7, and it's just he does not like Crossbone. So like, don't ask him about translating Crossbone because he's not going to.
Oh no!
Damn.
Or at least it's very low on his priority list.
Crossbone. I want it animated, but just not for good reasons. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what it says here.
All right, I'll read it aloud. With this project, you could say that just with Gundam Unicorn, you took a step into the world of new types. Is there a reason for this fascination with new types? Fukui, who is the director of Gundam Narrative and Unicorn, and I think he's also doing Hathaway's Flash too. So I didn't just take a step, I completely dove in, laughs. After the way I ended Gundam Unicorn, there was no way to continue the story and disregard everything that had happened before. In a world with electricity and nuclear energy, the development of the Psychommu led to the technology that allowed the conversion of human psychic energy into physical strength, the Psychoframe. By merely inserting this material into the cockpit area, it emits enough power to repel Axis, and when we used it to build mobile suits, the results were incredible. The Unicorn Gundam can dismantle an engine with a single swing of its arm, and can display such immense power it boggles the mind. For example, the ability to turn back time.
The fuck?
Here we go.
In the end,
oh god.
In the end, everything worked out because Banisher returned. Still, if he ever remained melded into the Unicorn Gundam, I believe that at that point, the timeline of the Universal Century would have likely come to an end. Why? Okay, it would have been possible to render all the weapons of the Earth Federation useless and go back into the past and eliminate all conflict itself, like Turn A. But the day that something like that becomes reality, the world will have been plunged into chaos, like Turn A. I suspect that even current three-dimensional plus time would become unsustainable. For those living in that time, it would have been an even greater threat than the Axis shock, and I imagine they would have worked themselves into a frenzy, searching for the source. This new story is a sort of a combination of that with a novel Phoenix hunting. The Psychoframe and the Unicorn Gundam are powerful enough that it would take only one misstep to destroy our very dimension itself.
Oh my god.
Alright, so a couple of corrections. Fukui is the writer of the Unicorn novel, not the director. I don't think he's, like, explicitly involved with Hathaway's Flash as of right now, but he probably is in some capacity, just because he wrote friggin' Unicorn, you know? So they'll probably need his input in some way.
Okay. Thanks for the correction there.
So see, that's the problem when you introduce time travel into anything, because if it's as easy and accessible as like they make it out to be, like why not just go back and just undo fucking everything? Why not?
Yeah, just look back.
What's stopping you, really? Why not?
Just stop war, bro.
Yeah, just how hard is it going to be? It's not like it's going to be buddy complex.
I like that series, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
was alright.
it's a pretty nice show. And the funny
Yeah,
thing
this
is,
is like that. Reading that is just like, why? Like, if they had kept it simple, like with unicorn dismantling like the engine or whatever, I would have been okay with it. It was like, okay, yeah, you new type nonsense, but now, whatever. I
yeah,
hate it.
just when you add too much, it just spoils everything. It's like cooking rice. If you add too much to anything, it'll just spoil the flavor.
Nah, this is not. This is you not. You shouldn't be able to burn noodles. This is you're burning noodles bad.
You're burning seasoned noodles on top of that because it was already prepared.
Well, yeah, you. Yeah,
And
that's. I don't like the concept of using time travel. I think it's dumb. I've never been a fan of it.
no,
The only time I'm okay with time travel stuff is when you have a character who does use time powers, but he's merely doing it to observe what's going on.
mm-hmm. Just for
Like the whole
intriguing.
observer thing, that's okay.
Yeah.
I only like it when you create set rules for it and it's limited. Like I don't mind. To me, I always do it in context of the writer. Like I don't hate it as a concept entirely. It's just like how do they use it, and like how do they limit it? I guess just like in this, like in the context of narrative, like there's nothing from just like taking the Phoenix and just like going back in time and undoing everything. It's just because it's that powerful. Like it doesn't have a limiter. It doesn't like, oh, it uses it once and then the entire thing is destroyed. Like no, I can just use it as many times as I want. It's just like
Yeah.
why?
And if anything, from the sound of it, seems like they're trying to mimic some sort of Idion class event, where if there is a point where it does get destroyed or it becomes unstable, it just creates a new universe all on its own.
Right, they introduced that too. So it's just like, yeah.
Are you shitting me? I blocked that. Sorry, I'm playing Gundam right now.
Kitty, I blocked it. Sure, you did. Take the damage.
Sure, you did.
Take the throw.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I hate it. Like that little interview didn't make things any better for me.
No,
So yeah, narrative is weird. Had a lot of missed opportunities. I do hope at one point, if like they're not discouraged, that they do another story about cyber new types, because I really think that's a concept that they don't use enough, and I really want to learn more about it.
Ditto.
okay, and continuing on, and that's why you use the.
Oh, look, I like the comment someone said there. I hope there will always be someone to filter out Fukui's nonsense. Honestly, it would be an absolute disaster if Unicorn was faithfully adapted.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of crazy stuff in the novel of Unicorn.
Yes, I heard about that, and we don't have the translated novels. I don't know if they ever will release them over here.
Oh, I
I'd be
doubt it.
I'd be interested in reading them.
I thought parts of it were translated, not by like Ziani, but someone else. At least the last chapter was, because people weren't sure if what happened at the end of episode 7 of Unicorn was actually what happened. And then I read it. I read a translated version. I'm like, that sounds pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they'll ever release the novels actually, because there are a lot of Unicorn novels. Now that I look
Yeah,
at
it's
it.
an entire series. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay, continuing on. And that's why we used the Phoenix to contain that power. Ultimately, to allow the Phoenix to unleash its full capabilities, we went back in time and sowed the seeds for that eventuality with Yona and Michelle. That is the story behind Gundam Narrative. When you think about it, this is really an incredible work of science fiction. It might sound something out of the occult, but beginning with the first incarnation of Mobile Suit Gundam, the worlds in the Gundam series have always depicted the existence of a soul. For this new story, I went even further and dreamed up a situation that involved an intervention from the afterlife. Like we didn't have that in Zeta.
Or in any UC series ever.
Yeah.
I can see time.
It's what it pretty much boils down to is it's just him. It's just the entire universal century. Am I a joke to you? That's pretty much what it is. Am I a joke to you? Because we've done this before. We've done this in multiple mangas. We've done this in multiple animated series. I think there was like some instance in Igloo where it delves with the afterlife too.
Also, in all of the other series, they had like explanations and they built up to it. This we don't have that build up. Even with Unicorn, because this feels like its own side story, so nothing is built up. You just
No,
kind of have to deal with it as it's shown.
as is pretty much.
I am the Avatar. You got to deal with it.
Oh God.
So yeah, I don't know maybe if this was longer and he had more time to write it out, it would have been better. But I don't agree with what he's putting down.
No.
No, this is why you have people like he's a director, right?
He was
Writer.
he was the Fuyuki was he made the original novel. He also did the screenplay.
Okay.
So he wrote the movie.
Okay. This is why you don't let a person do it themselves. This is why you have people on the side, so that when you come up with some dumb stuff, people will be like, yeah, you got let's stop that back a little bit, Brett.
Yeah, someone to bring you in.
I think after the success of Unicorn, they were like, man, he could do it himself. That's why they just gave him that.
No, wait. I think I have an explanation. Fukui, and this may piss off Sunflower PB, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Fukui is clearly an Exia main. That's why we gotta have a person who's on a 3K to tell him, "Yo, pull back. You're gonna overcost me."
But then again, in that nature, Exia mains would just go ahead and just you just gotta tell them to go get him, champ. Go get him, champ.
Well, we're fucked then.
Yep, that's exactly what happens. Unicorn.
Sunflower. Look, this is not a knock on Exia or Exia or Setsuna. It's just the fact that because Setsuna, if Setsuna played Mban, he would lack. I'm a quantum mean also. He would actually listen to instructions.
Mm-hmm.
But Exia players, they think, oh, I gotta go in, and it's just like, bro, pull back. I'm the front, bro. What are you doing? I'm a Gundam though. I'm like, go get him, champ.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Unicorn was basically the 3K. Narrative was the 2K. The narrative was just went ahead, overcosted Unicorn, and then the entire series just goes down in the dumps.
Yeah, narrative just made Unicorn worse.
But here's the thing, AJ. Here's the thing, though, AJ. I'm not lying.
It's actual fact.
Everybody who is an Exia main goes ham. If the person plays Exia and they are not hardcore going in, they're actually not an Exia main. They just know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of sweeping generalizations when it comes to certain suits people use, but it happens to be the most common. Second to Barbados. Barbados Lupus. Who else? Yeah, that's the thing. Exia mains. Because they're notorious for that. There's a comic that Pompadour actually did, which got international attention.
Well, here's the thing. There's a guy who I play with, and this is not a knock on him. I'm not trying to insult the person, but this guy has red 5-star on Exia, and not only did he overcost me repeatedly, he double overcosted me. Like if you're learning the game, I understand it. But what I'm saying is, a lot of Exia mains, they don't understand. And even then, this is the thing, Sunflower. That's what I'm saying. A lot of Exia mains, they don't understand the game yet. So they think because Exia is melee focused, because Exia does have insanely good melee priority, but then they don't realize his dagger throw, has evasion on it. He has his Mario jump. His Mario jump gives him extra movement. His beam rifle is easy to use. He has a good assist. But at the end of we talking about Exia mains. And it's like, the thing is, a lot of these guys, they just think I have to melee. And then next thing you know, they're going again in the 3K. It's like, oh fuck it, go get him, champ.
Yep. Wait, at least with me and Seiji, we know how to play the game. So we know how to play Exia the right way.
No, you don't. Stop lying.
You want to see the? You doubted me? You doubted me? You doubted me. All right. The next time we play, I'm picking Exia.
Next time we team up, I can see it now. He picks X. He starts overcosting me. Yo, I need I need that GF somebody posted because it shows F91 and the chat says the com says pull back all over costume and that is really getting out on that port.
Oh, that one is just. Oh my god, Chrome. And it's funny when you understand the context of who has that. It's funny when you understand the context of who has
okay,
that.
look, it is a generalization.
Yeah.
But honestly, if I'm being real, bad Exia mains are the ones that do that. Like a good Exia main is actually pretty obnoxious because Exia is actually legit agile. And when you do like the fuwa step, if that's what the correct term is, when you jump and then step and jump and then shoot your beam rifle, and he's really good at that because he's just really agile. You can do the little save the little dagger cost and fuwa step into the pew 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 and
Yep.
annoying.
Everything that Exi has is a fast fall. That's why it's pretty strong in Max.
I'm probably gonna pick up the suit myself, honestly. I mean, because I already play Quanto, but 7 sword and full saber can get a dick. I say that as I spam Zabanya assist and go in. Yes, that's exactly what it is, Sunflower. They're either really good and hard to hit, or they're mean tier.
Yeah, they're
literally mean. It's kind of funny because the Exia version of Go Get 'Em Champ is literally the best version of it. And you know what's funny? It's funny because Western players have that meme with Grandpa Gundam telling Exia you can't go in, and he's like, "Go get him, champ." But then a Japanese artist some Japanese guy made a meme that was pretty much the same thing about Exia going in, and it's like, and we reached the point of harmony when the Japanese players and English players are like, "Fuck Exia mates."
Yep, we have reached a point of understanding. I think I have that.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think I have that tweet too that I made. But
the funny thing is, you have to use brain cells now with Quanta. In full boost, I didn't call it Quanta. I called it Hamta. Because it's just literally Zabanya says, "I'm going in. You don't get to do anything about it. As long as you can decently use Zabanya assist, you get in for free." and then I remember, I don't know if you've played Vanilla EX versus Sunflower, but did you know that the shield bits actually blocked the melee also in Vanilla? They had to change that because that was insane.
Yeah, the suit was top tier in Vanilla. It was just stupid. I remember that. It was top tier.
That shit was bonkers in that game. I don't know who the hell thought that was a good idea. Alas, we have achieved true understanding, not through war, conflict, or ego, but through memes in the love of the game. Oh man, I'm telling you, the Gundam memes are global.
Thank you to
what do
Pompadour.
the Japanese guys say? Because you can translate the tweet, right?
Gundam memes are global.
That is hilarious. Oh no, that's just great, bro. That's just great. I mean, even if it's B tier, it's still good. The only suits that I think that are actually quote unquote bad is if it's C tier. None of the 3Ks are bad. Like even though Turn X is the lowest rated suit in M-Bond, I still do pretty well with it. I still have my moments when, not to talk trash because I be getting my ass kicked all the time. But I've had some moments where I have frustrated some players, and I've had moments where I've pulled some bullshit with it. But I think it's good in M-Bond that none of the 3Ks are quote unquote bad, because the 3K is arguably the most important cost in the game.
And if anything, the way that I would put it, depending on the tier list, the higher you are, the less work you have to do in order to win, as opposed to the lower you go, the more work you have to do in order to kind of stay alive and just try to push some offense. Because there's suits like Legolas, where there are some crippling things about it that would definitely hurt the suit, but the burst kind of remedies that.
Yeah.
Hold up, I'll be right back.
But nah, it's just like I said, I don't when I say that stuff about the whole Exia mains thing, I really just say that in a joking fashion. I'd rather not talk shit about like individual players, and or even when I am talking shit, I'm pretty much being like just I'm just silly. I'm just being silly. Like if I'm salty, I'll say so, you know. But overall, no, I'm not gonna run around and just bash people. It's just honest, and because the thing is, huh?
I'm pretty sure most people say it in a joking manner because like actually it's like one of the better suits in the game. It's a very very powerful suit. It's just that I mean if you look at it from like the shows that Americans like very much, they're going to go to the suits that they know, and XCM Barbados are just those suits. So you just often see them.
And it's interesting because if I'm not mistaken, Barbados prefers to play at range. Even that has decent melee.
Yeah,
It's actually when somebody told me, dude, it's actually a range suit, I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah, all of the versions of Barbados, they're all range suits. They have good melee, true, but they're all range suits. So like you can tell immediately if someone knows how to play that suit or not by the way they play them, because they're all range suits.
I'm trying to play full saber, so I have more versatility, but I like Quanta's melee more. Well, here's the thing, though. Buster Sword is great, but I actually do like the fact that you have to think more with Quanta now, because you have to use because now the using the shield bits weapon, the sub, I think it's sub, right? Now it's actually pretty good now. So I think that's great. But a lot of times it's just the fact that you have to tell those players, like, hey, bro, you got to realize you're the back, and that a lot of times as a melee, you're usually stuck doing nothing and just using your presence. Like for example, I like Dragon Gundam, but as much as I like using Dragon, as fun as he is, that suit's hard, man. Like that suit's hard as hell. Exia has it easy. Because Exia is a melee suit, but he has movement and he has ranged options. Like, what the fuck does Dragon have? Like, it's hard using Dragon, but then you have Exia and people are just going in. Oh man.
Yeah, it's just different priority. It takes a while for people to learn, and the game doesn't exactly have a tutorial, so.
Yeah, this game, Gundam is pretty shit at tutorials.
That's just the typical Japanese developer thing. They've only recently started giving their games tutorials, but since it's basically an arcade game and they just port it right through, they don't really bother with Gundam tutorials. I don't think none of the Gundam games have tutorials, and they're very complicated games for sure.
¿Qué pasó?
¿Cómo está?
Good.
¿Ha pedido que sea 2 libras?
Sí.
¿Cuándo?
Así trae.
Tú ves. ¿Verdad?
Chingo.
No hay que te espera.
Back. Sorry about that. Trying to think now. I'm kind of wait. They said quick thing about speaking of EX versus. They said they were going to add a couple of more suits, right?
What Maxi Boost?
Yeah.
We have no idea. They only did the 3 backports that we have right now. It's not a new concept. They've done that before, but they haven't said they're going to do it for Maxi for our version or not.
Okay, because I know they added Lupus Rex, and
yeah, it was Aqua Amazing Montero and Lupus Rex.
Okay. And then
I wouldn't be against the idea, but yeah, we have no idea that they're going to do that.
I mean, as long as the suit that they add doesn't pull a full armor Gundam, full armor Unicorn, or Norn, or Sandrock, or Blitz, as long as it's not like that tier of shakeup, we're good.
Well, they
That
did
was
a
really-
pretty good job so far, but this is they just added. So yeah, maybe they can keep that up.
Yeah, because Lupus Rex, I don't feel it's impressive. I mean, does Setsuna have it? Does he even have any other suits left?
Who Setsuna?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we have Exia, we have Exia repaired by proxy, we have Avalanche Exia, then you have Quanto, Double O, Full Saber, and Seven.
If it's
Sword.
brand new suits, they could add the final form of Quantum. A bunch of other things, but
Mm. I would like if they added Maxter.
I thought they were gonna add Maxer. It seemed like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, especially because it's an American release. Here you go, guys. Have the America Gundam.
That's what I thought. It was a no-brainer. It was an American suit. It's a 2K. It wouldn't be that hard to balance. Like I thought that was a no-brainer, but they added Montero instead, which I thought was a weird choice. But I was like, oh, whatever. Like Lupus Rex makes sense, Zaku Amazing makes sense, but then Montero just kind of comes out of nowhere.
No, unless you count Dark Exia, but that's not his suit. It's Yuki.
They have a ton of material from Build Fighters. I mean, that's all they've been adding in the arcade version. They just added nothing but Build Fighter suits because they have so many they can use.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like they have like easy movesets they can implement.
I mean, the thing about Build Fighters is some of those suits are kind of over designed.
I mean, that's kind of the point. It's to appeal more to kids. That's,
Yeah. It's all right. EX versus 2 is proof of that. Yeah, I ultimately hope that they don't go overboard with the Build Fighters because there's a lot of other suits that they can add. So let's round it out with a couple of more fan favorites, not just pushing Build Fighters.
I think they're just gonna keep going with the Build Fighters. It's too easy. Like it's a hot thing right now. It gets like the younger audience interested. Like that's probably why they're doing so many.
That's fair.
Because the arcade version has so many Build Fighter suits. They just keep adding them.
So how about we add in that Turn X looking motherfucker?
I'm telling you, there are a lot of suits they could add. Like they barely scratch the surface. They could easily make an entire versus game just of Build Fighter suits. There's not even an exaggeration.
Like the original Build Fighters, but the newer Build Fighters have wall designs. As long as the design works and it's not overly designed, then I'm fine with it. Because even as much as I like the full armor Gundam from Thunderbolt, even that one's a touch over designed. But it's fine.
Well, I mean that's kind of the point of that suit. I mean, when they implemented it, was like Banan just said, "Give me everything you have on this ship, just slap it on the unicorn. Let's fucking do it." So that's why it's like that is the full armor. Even though how crazy bulky it is, I like it for what it is. But yeah, it's
That's
just,
not even armor. It's full armor.
Overall, it's fine. But honestly, I kind of would have. I actually would have liked it if they would have let you remove the armor from the full armor Gundam, but I guess it kind of wouldn't have worked because it would have just been a melee suit. Because when he did do that, all they had was just the shield and one shield and a beam saber. So never mind. Maybe not. Maybe not. What I like to see. What else would I like to see? I'm assuming we're also not going to get any balancing, so that's another.
I mean, like, well, yeah, when they gave it to us, that was a final version. Like, there's no need to balance it because that's as balance as we're gonna get. And Maxi Boost on is one of the better versions balance wise because the arcade version they got right now is really funky in a lot of ways. So
which one? EX versus 2?
Yeah, it's pretty funky because I watch match footage all the time, and I see the tier list update. I'm like, man, some of these suits are kind of fucking ridiculous.
I mean, I remember that tournament I watched before when they had EX versus 2 has Night Gundam, right?
Yeah, he was top tier in one version. He was broke. He was absolutely broke.
Like I remember somebody in a Discord that I'm in, they posted information about what suits were picked, and Night Gundam was everywhere.
Yeah, it was, and the entire top 8 all had one Night Gundam. That's how stupid he was.
Yeah, because I remember watching some of the matches, and I'm like, yo, this suit's kind of too good right now, bro. Like, what are they doing? And they nerfed the shit out of it.
Yeah. And just like the little things in that version, like the mobility burst is just out of whack. Linkage burst is also kind of crazy. The melee threshold for damage is way higher than in Maxi Boost. In Maxi Boost, you have a very hard cap on how much melee damage you can do. And EXVS2, like that cap just does not exist. You can just do whatever the fuck you want.
It's like
Yeah,
that.
so damage in that game can get high really fast.
Yeah, they loosened the cap of GVS, so they pretty much implemented that into the game, and it just got even crazier.
But that made more sense in GVS than it does in EXVS2. They just didn't really think about it. They're just like, fuck it, this is imported. Who cares?
No.
I mean, I'm assuming we're not going to get EX versus 2 for quite a while anyway. But
if we ever get it,
if we do,
you know.
And even then, there'll probably be another
already
version.
Announced they're making a new arcade version, whatever that means. So we might. Tokyo Game Show is this month. So if the pandemic didn't slow down the development, we'll probably get news about it this month.
Mahoko.
Oh yeah, that image about Hammurabi hitting like 750.
Yeah, I saw the video of it. There's actually a video of it.
Wait, what? Hammurabi? What? Hammurabi's
Hammurabi has like a 700 damage combo.
What? Whoa! I need to see this. Holy shit!
I have the video. Let me see. I got the video.
750. That means it's basically one-shotting almost everything.
Yeah,
but there's no way you're gonna get it off. It takes a million years.
Yeah, and you have to have a lot of resources too, and make sure that no one is cutting you.
What in the world is this nonsense? Just being smart about Hammurabi's downfall. He was low. Shar's posting on it because I know he remembers what happened with my Hammurabi. Good. Don't mind me, just flying around and pewing.
Yep, and just shocking people in the process.
Yep, dirty noodles. Tentacle rape.
Oh, and I noticed that my mic was kind of muted at the beforehand, but I hope they don't add try burning.
I hope they don't add any of the tri-suits. Like, they all look stupid.
I'd rather they not add try burning because
I don't want them to add any suits, honestly.
It would make sense to add try burning because of the fact that it is one of the protagonist suits, but then it's like, how are you going to differentiate try burning from Shining Gundam?
Oh no, it's very different. I assure you. And
it's very different. It's very different. If anything, it's much more ham than God Gundam or Master Gundam because it has a lot of different things that stun, a lot of different things that have a lot of high damage and really good tracking.
Well, I don't think it's any coincidence like all those Build Fighter suits were like at one point like all top tier or just extremely good. Like Lightning was stupid on release. Star Winning is still really good. Try Burning is still really good. Fucking was it 00 Ace or whatever is like really good. Like
Double Diver Ace.
Diver Ace, yeah.
Yeah, Diver Ace.
Jeez, that suit was ridiculous. Especially like it had its mobility nerfed when it was in Mobility Boost and Trans Am.
Trans Ham, you mean?
Yeah, that's it. That's just Trans Ham. You're never gonna walk away from it alive.
I also enjoy the balance of the game right now, and thankfully the suits they did add didn't fuck everything over. Like the Lupus Rex is really, really good, but he doesn't break the game, which I appreciate. If they add more suits, you can't really trust them to like fuck up the balance because like Maxi Boost on is like one of the better balance of the versus games. A lot of the other ones are just out of whack.
Yep.
Yeah, because like I remember Full Boost. Full Boost had clear top tiers with.
Yeah, Full Boost was really bad. Vanilla was really bad. Here, the only issue we have is Reborns, and like it's not even an issue in America because I can't even think of a single American player that like plays Reborns that well.
Waco.
I have actually not seen Waco play Reborns. I've seen him play Master, but not Reborns.
Good luck with that.
Waco's having a little too much fun with that Master Gundam with.
Oh yeah, everybody can whiff from like yee high with the upward.
What's the best, dude?
Yeah,
Join the
But,
cult
I
of
mean,
Master Gundam.
I'll
from what I
try.
can tell, from what I can tell, I mean, this game isn't like Full Boost, where Full Boost the top tiers were Wing Zero TV because it had Infinite Zero system. Then you had Reborns, because Reborns was silly. Then you had Hamta, which was okay. And then afterwards, then Norn showed up and dominated. And then Full Armor Unicorn showed up and dominated.
Funny you say Infinite Zero System because that's back in EXVS too.
Yeah, why did they bring that back?
Who knows? It's also top tier again. Wing Zero.
Did we really need Hero Yui to come back in top tier,
That
guys?
suit has never been bad, by the way.
It never
There's
has.
not a single version where that suit has ever been bad.
Ain't that?
Yep.
They just like always ignore it, and then somehow it rises to top tier. Like, oh wait, how did that happen? I don't know.
I'll kill you.
But I have like a feeling for the next batch, if they ever do like another series of backported suits, it's gonna be Chimera's Vidar, Baxter, and maybe.
As I was saying before, I'm still really surprised they didn't add Maxer. Like that seems like such an obvious choice for me. Like
Yeah.
Americans like Team Gundam. It's an American suit. What the fuck? Like
I think the way they're doing is that they're going by the order of how they appeared first in EXVS2. The way that they were introduced, so I guess Montero and Zaku Amazing and Rex were pretty much the highlight suits, and then Maxer was introduced later.
I figured they added Montero because of the I'm a Genius oh no memes.
That too. Klimnik
I mean,
is a genius.
they're all good inclusions. Don't get me wrong, but it's still I just prefer Maxer. That's the thing. Like Montero's a cool suit, Zaku Amazing's a cool suit, Lupus Rex still a cool suit, but I don't know. I feel like it was just a no-brainer. Considering with GDS, they went through all the trouble of adding the G suits because people complained so much. Like I feel like it would have been an obvious choice, but whatever.
Yeah. But then again,
I just think if you're gonna add called damn it,
Maxter.
I just lost my train of thought. Oh no, now I remember. My main issue with the Build Fighter suits, you know what it is?
What?
The names are fucking stupid.
Wing Star Fumina. Lightning
Yeah,
Gundam's
so a
pretty
lot
standard.
of them have really, really dumb names.
Wing Gundam Fenice or Renish Cemento, whatever
that's
it's
fine.
called.
That one's fine, but like the Build Strike, it's like, bro, just give it like a build. Come on, bro. That's just bad advertising. That's just corny advertising there.
Well, I guess they figured that people around the time that Build Fighters came around, Seed was still like the highlight of the Gundam series because Japan loves it so much. Seed and Seed Destiny in particular. There's those are the only two big ones in Japan that have still a good amount of pull despite the polarizing opinions about it in the West.
Y'all motherfuckers got some shitty taste.
Oh yeah. And this comes from a guy who actually just watched Seed Destiny in its entirety. I feel like the last episode just really messed things up with the way that everything was built up before.
Y'all motherfuckers got some shitty.
When's Age? It's almost done downloading, so I should be ready to stream it sometime around Friday or so.
Fuck H1 Sparrow.
Not Age of Ah!
I actually not. Yeah, that kid's annoying.
Oh yeah, he's
the random ass screaming like Jesus Christ, shut up, bro.
just imagine if there was 3 more of them, which I tried to go for, but no one ever complied with it. I even had like a lobby where it said age effects only, and everybody was just still picking other suits. So my age affects ethno state, as Vroom kind of put it, never worked. But someday it will come around. It will rise.
I mean, you know what it is, man. I don't care for Shin. Shin just sounds annoying, and Destiny looks stupid.
Wait, you got a problem?
Heinz Destiny looks better.
You got a problem with Anta Tashiwa?
I mean, that line does sound kind of cool, but I mean, it's just I just don't like the way the suit looks.
Oh yeah.
I'm a stickler for color coordination, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it when something looks tacked on. The backpack thing would have looked cool, but they needed to give it matching colors.
Yeah.
I can understand if the beam thing for the charge shot is green because that's what they tend to do for those kinds of weapons. Fine, but give us some goddamn color coding, man. You guys are supposed to be using things that are part of the military. Like, act like it. Like, come on, man. And not only that, when it comes to selling things, it doesn't look cool. It doesn't.
I mean, when it comes with like a silhouette test, it might have some sort of presence, but if it's just a full-on color coordination, it doesn't really ring all kinds of well. Maybe for like the different variations of the Destiny, like the Blanche Destiny from like Princess of the Sky, maybe there might be something to kind of remedy, but even then,
I'll give him. I will give props to this one guy who did a thing for Seed Destiny, where they have it to where it has the wings of light on display and looks really really cool. That one, I'll give that a pass. That's
yeah. But yeah, me playing Destiny in this point of the game's lifespan, it feels kind of refreshing.
playing what now?
Playing Destiny Gundam.
Well, okay. Did you finally find the 3K that you're comfortable with? Then is that what it is?
I've always had like 3Ks that I was comfortable with, not ones that were very oppressive though.
Well, no, that's what I mean because I feel like you're kind of in the same situation I am, where you're having a bit of a character crisis there.
Yeah. When it comes to offense, yes. I used to play Banshee Norn in full boost, but I kind of fell off on this game in particular. I don't know why, but it seemed like he seems a little bit slower in Maximus in comparison to full boost.
I've been talking to Shar about that. He's a little frustrated right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a Talkies player, but from what I remember, he told me that there was some general changes, and it seems to hurt Talkies a lot. Because I got to think about it, Talkies is rated pretty low in this game.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of sucks that you have a suit that's technical, being low ranked.
I mean, there's a lot of technical suits that are kind of low ranked, but it's just namely Talkies 3 that kind of suffers the most because of how unique his movement is. Like if you talk to like Zayrok, he could probably give you a much better account with the ins and outs of that suit in particular, since he already has I think 15 stars at this point.
I mean, my thing is like, I don't know. Like I mean, I'm sure you've noticed because you're one of the guys I talk to a lot about this game.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to have. I think it's good that I've had an inner circle to, like, if I'm frustrated, I can talk to somebody who I know is gonna at least listen to me and not let me. Hey, it's okay, Chex. Be safe, bro.
That's all good, man.
No, dude, you ain't gotta apologize. You good, bro?
Just stay clear.
Honestly, thanks for dropping by, bro. I got nothing but fucking love for you. Once all this bullshit is over, we gotta get together, man. We gotta have dinner one of these days, man.
Oh, for sure.
We can actually get Waypoint to open up.
Yeah.
Would love it.
Oh yeah, once Waypoint's open, I'm probably and I have a job and I get a job, I'm gonna be fucking buying everybody pizza every fucking time we have a session.
Hey. I don't think we can bring the pizza inside the Waypoint Cafe because they don't like outside food from there.
No, that's what I mean. No, if I'm not mistaken, they make pizza in there.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they have pizza. No, that's what I meant. I'm not gonna be fucking disrespectful and bring outside food. Hell no.
Shit, we might as well go with that then.
All right, guys, I gotta dip out too. I got other things I gotta handle. But this was fun. I enjoyed talking about narrative. Yeah, this was great. I enjoyed it.
And
I like it when you guys invite me, so it's always a good time.
Yeah, we always gotta do this more often too.
Definitely. But same thing, bro. Thanks for dropping by too, brother. Be safe.
Of course, no problem.
All right, peace out.
I think the when it comes to like what's going on with the changes to the game, and there is some adaptation. There's still some adaptation time, and I think it's clear that I know Char's having a bit of a problem. Maybe he needs to play a different suit for a different perspective and to give him a fresh take. But I think like I'm kind of the same way with Turnex right now. Like I kind of feel like I'm like one session I'll think I'm doing great, but then the next I just get my fucking face kicked in, and I'm just like, okay, what the hell happened? You know, you think you're progressing, and the next thing you know is just you just play horribly, and just everything goes fucking wrong.
Yeah, that one session that you had when you were teamed up with Steel with his H2 Darkhound, it was a nightmare for both me and Deuce.
Were you guys talking to each other or something?
No, we were just we were using comms mostly, but trying to catch both of you was absolutely annoying to deal with. Because
no, I noticed. Yeah, I kind of I feel like I know Deuce was having mentioned it that I remember Deuce mentioning that too. That was kind of I did notice that because there were some times where like if he got caught, I cut for him almost immediately, or even then there were just some times where we were just not getting hit at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just like those suits are just very elusive and it's pretty obnoxious.
Yep.
It's kind of funny because the same thing happened with a different thing that we were playing when I was playing with Egg, and Egg was playing Phantom, and I was playing Alex. So we both had times where we're just going in and it's like we have armor, we don't care.
Just mollywop everybody.
Yeah, that was kind of we were doing that, and I'm like, yo, this is like I was talking to him on the side. I'm like, yo, it's kind of weird how this is kind of working out for us, you know?
Yeah, it's very impressive.
These time frames. Yeah, we just have these time frames. It's just like it's annoying when one suit is a stealth suit.
Mm-hmm.
Like F91, fuck that suit. But but then it kind of gets annoying when F91 just goes into Meep, and then when Zero kicks in Zero system, it's like fuck, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
Not a good feeling.
Oh no, it ain't. It's that feeling of helplessness that really gets you, especially in like.
Yeah, that's the thing I hate the most is that when you feel like you can't really do anything, like that's when this game just really feels oppressive.
Mm-hmm. It just goes to show how strong comps actually work. If you have a team, if you have someone that you can coordinate with pretty well, and the suits that have like the tools in order to make that happen, it's like night and day compared to like playing with random people.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. But no, other than that, I think it's just try out a couple of other suits. Okay. Just try out a couple of the different suits, and maybe by playing, because I feel like every time I play another suit, it actually gives me reminders to do other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was having Crow review some of my replays.
Yeah.
And one thing he pointed out immediately was, dude, you need to use main sub more on turn X because he's like, you're not doing it enough. You're using like main AC a lot, and he's like, dude, just more main sub. Keep it simple. And then I'm playing, say, like for Alex, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I have my assist up, I know that it has a fast forward main. However, I know the differences, but that's from playing it so much. You know,
Right.
If you have Choham, you can just go into assist main immediately. You'll drop. But if you have your back turned with Alex without the armor, the fast fall doesn't work.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck in the Vernia state.
Yeah, because first you turn around, but if you do it too fast, then it doesn't really work. So it always just reminds me, I'm going to use the assist. I got to make sure I'm moving forward. Otherwise, slap your armor on, and then the fastball will work.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing too, since I know you use turn X also, I think I'm just not going to bother trying to do
The CSB.
46BC into CSB.
Yeah, it's
what
too
I
much.
am going to do, it's just too specific timing. The only time I do it is if I know.
Wait, there? Hey, Dante, you there? You kind of cut out for a bit. Hold up, let me see if I can reach him in chat. Hold up. Yep, I think. Yeah, he's probably gonna reconnect.
Testing.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Seems to happen when I use either my tablet or my phone. It's just after a certain point it cuts off and I gotta reconnect. My bad.
Ah, I see. But what were you saying? You were saying something about Turn X, about using CSB. I didn't quite catch that.
So I decided to just not bother using CSB with 4.6 BC because it's too hard to use. I mean, I only use it if I know I'm gonna switch the weapon and I'm safe and I'm repositioning, and then I'll do it then. Otherwise, it's just go into because CSA out of 4.6 BC is a lot easier, or out of 2 BC is also easy because you do the backflip, the here shiny finger, they think oh he's gonna melee CSA to the face. But otherwise, I just use CSB to fast fall out of main, or yeah, that's really it. Just do that just to keep it simple. Because other than that, I think it's more important for me to learn how to actually use the Garo instead of the CSB cancel, because I feel like I'm bad at landing CSB. I'm sorry, the sub. I'm really bad at landing it. That's been my main frustration with that suit right now. Oh, I'm good.
I guess the other thing might be to try to find different applications aside from that 4.6 BC and just use CSB for like other means, like just as an empty cancel rather than trying to commit to one or the other.
Looks like somebody decided to answer my topic that I made, a post I made yesterday.
About what?
I posted about Gundam, about GBO2. So at the end of the day, I think I can't go a day without questioning why the general player base for GBO2 is dog shit.
I guess that'll be an episode for another time then.
No, huh?
I guess that'll be a topic for another episode.
I think so. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. What you about to do?
Probably gonna play some more PSO2. Been kind of getting back into the swing of things now that both in North America and Japan, things are starting to look rather fun again. Because there was a point where I just didn't really feel like playing at all, but now I just have that feeling to just want to get back into it, especially with how over on the JP side, they're kind of going with their like final moments before the new Genesis stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of getting as much time as I can, investing a lot of time of leveling up things. Same thing with the North American side. Just starting to get back, just trying to level up as much as I can. Just try to reach level cap 2. It helps that there's people that I can probably party up with in the meantime. So it'll probably expedite the process. But yeah, that's pretty much my plan so far, as well as kind of continuing on with my studies. I'm already at like week 4 of my tech support fundamentals class, and yeah, I'm pretty sure if I go at the pace I am going right now, I could probably finish before the intended date of October 6th.
Sounds like a good plan.
Oh yeah.
I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up then. We're gonna talk about a specific suit next week.
Yeah. I'll try to find something to pick out. I know I have the polls pinned, so we might have a good chance to pick something out from there. So we'll see what comes up next. I know we haven't. I think we haven't done a 3K yet. Oh wait, no, we have. We have. I think we haven't done a 1.5 though. No, we covered as.
We covered Zaku Head Zeta, the most important one.
Yeah, we did. The cursed existence of that thing. But yeah, I think I'll look back at the polls, see what we can pick out, what things we can also talk about. But all in all, I'll probably see what might be up next.
All right, no problem. So, well, see you guys next week then. Thanks for dropping by, everybody.
All right, I'll just do the final call, the debriefing, and that'll be it.
So, take it easy, fellas.
You too, Dento. All right, now let's get the. Oh, let me see if I can find it. Okay, was it?
Why would people do something to symbol so much identical that they cause confusion?
Alright, that is that for today's stream. We just cleared around 2 hours and 3 minutes. We did go off on a few tangents here and there, but we definitely covered a lot of what we want to talk about with Gundam Narrative. We didn't really tear into it too much, but I guess we gave our much intended jabs on the matter itself. So hopefully we'll probably get this up relatively early. And that's pretty much that. I'll probably see you guys on PSO2 if you're looking for me. I am on Ship 2 in Japan. Player name is Quattro Valsa. Character name is Chiriko Kyubi. And you like narrative. That's quite contrarian. But all in all, narrative is pretty polarizing. Let's not beat around the bush there too. But I'm gonna call it a night here. Thanks everybody for watching and listening. Oh right, I'm on Ship 3 on the North American servers. But I've ran this long enough. You do have some timing, don't you, Stretch? I'm still trying to wait for that other thing to come around too. For that special game. You know which one I'm talking about in particular? I don't know if there's been some kind of hang-ups here and there, but if I might have to look for another platform just in case. Or if anything, I might just stream it on Discord and we'll go from there. Let's come to think of it. How are you not on my Discord yet, Stretch? Alright, just type in exclamation Discord, I'll give you regular status too. But I'll just end it here. Peace out, everybody.